because okay. Okay, assalamu alaikum. How are you guys doing? Yeah, alhamdulillah. For me, it is, how can I say, it is an honor to be here tonight in front of you, because it is the first time in my life that I'm presenting to a Muslim group. Yeah, so I have taught human rights everywhere in the world, in Europe, in France, in South Africa, in Korea, in Japan, in China, everywhere. But I always talk to mixed groups. So to be here amongst you is an honor for me. My name is Musa, and I was born in Senegal, in West Africa. In my country, we are Muslim. It is almost 95% Muslim. So, and it is an honor, as I say, because through the whole years I have been doing human rights work, I have come across one controversy, is that many people have difficulty to understand about Islam and human rights. Or I will say many people don't think that you can reconcile Islam and human rights. As someone born Muslim, I know that it's not always right too. Human rights, many people, either you are a Muslim or a Christian, you have challenges, and people have challenges all over the world to understand what is human rights. So it is not only a challenge for Muslim, it is a challenge for anyone as a human being. But before I go in telling you too much about human rights, and tonight what I'm intending to do is to have a frank conversation, an honest conversation with you guys around those issues of human rights. My presentation, as you can see, the title of my presentation, I say that it is in search of a common language. How can we all work together to find a common language? For me, I know that it is challenging when I talk about language, because you might think, oh, are we going to be speaking Arabic tonight, or English, or French, or German, or Korean? So depending. But I'm not talking about that languages. I'm not talking about languages as such. What I'm talking about, it is a common understanding of what is human rights. But also, we are cultural beings. We are people from different cultures. So how can you reconcile human rights and culture? And then I added a last word, that is diversity. I will not say too much about diversity. We will talk about it. So this is what I'm intending to cover tonight. And I'm hoping to do it in 95 minutes, 45 minutes, and then there will be 15 minutes of question answers, and I will be happy to answer some of the questions. I might not be able to be the only person who have answers. I'm sure in this room there is a lot of people with a great wisdom, so we will be learning from each other. Does this make, is it okay with everyone?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. However, some of my students will tell you I'm not the kind of prof who just stand and lecture you. It's not my style. My style is to get you involved, to get you run around and talk to each other. So I will be asking you to move around a lot, and I hope it will be okay with you. For those who felt like it is not okay for them to move, you can always stay where you are and just raise your hand to let us know that you are there. As I say, my name is Musa Magasa. I work at the University of Victoria, and I wear there two hats. My first hat is I teach human rights to not only students, but also to the staff of the university and as a professor. So my mandate is every single person on campus, the 22 or 25,000 people. And my job is to be sure that all of them, they know about what is their rights, what is other people's rights, and that they respect those rights. if someone breaks human rights and is accused of discrimination and harassment and is brought in front of my office, then me and my co-workers will investigate that person, and if we determine or we find that this person has broken human rights, then our office will write a recommendation to the president of the university to take action. So, on one hand, I am an educator. On the other hand, I am a human rights mediator. So I try to help people to do conflict resolution and mediate human rights. This is one of the halves. The second half, as I say, I'm also an adjunct associate professor, so I teach courses, credit courses, which I will tell you a bit more. But quickly, let me tell you about the equity and human rights at the University of Victoria. I'm sure some of you are a student at UVic. And at the University of Victoria, we have an office called the Equity and Human Rights Office. And the Equity and Human Rights Office, our mandate is exactly to be sure that we champion the university's commitment to practices of human rights, equity, and inclusion. So we try to help UVic to become an inclusive place, a place that respects human rights, a place that also respects equity. But we can't do this without everyone on campus. What we do in the office, the list is very exhaustive. We promote human rights, we develop and implement human rights policies, and you will see that, as I say, we design and teach a lot of human rights training for people. We consult and we provide advice. And in a nutshell, this is what we do. If you look in our office, one is human rights work, the other one is education, and the third one is human rights complaint. Human rights complaint, it is not like police complaint, it is not criminal complaint. But sometimes someone might do something that ends into a criminal issue. But oftentimes human rights and criminal issue, police issue are totally different. So human rights is more related to work and to relationship between people. So quickly, my presentation will try to aim to raise your awareness. I'm going to try to raise awareness for everyone to understand what is human rights. And also, I want us to look at human rights through the lenses of what we call culture and our attitude, our beliefs, and so on. I give you an example of cultural belief of human rights. 6 years ago, I was in Vancouver. I used to work as a family mediator, meaning working for the ministry to help parents and their children when there is conflict. So I help the family to come together. And I was also working as an integration officer for the immigration section. So one day I was sitting with a family, a mother and her daughter, to help them to resolve the problem. The daughter was like 14. After 2 minutes, she started breathing very heavily. And I'm saying to myself, is she getting angry or she's tired? And before I realized, she started yelling at the mother and she said, "You are a liar! You are a stupid woman!" And she was screaming at her mother. In Canada, children do this. At the beginning, I said to myself, not to worry, Musa. This is Canadian culture. But after 2 minutes, I couldn't take it. I lost it. At one moment, I was like, and I knock on the table, BAM! And I say, "Shut up!" The little girl look at me. I say, "This not here in front of me. Get up, go in your room." So she went, and the mother was just totally shocked and looking at me. I realized she was not clear why I did this. Myself, I didn't know why I did it. So I got up and I went in the street. I went to sat in my car for 1 hour. And finally I realized, maybe in Canadian culture, they can yell and shout to their children. Maybe not. But one thing happened here today that I didn't like. I couldn't stand to see a 14-year-old screaming at her mother and accusing her of lying. In my culture, your mother is God. You respect your parents. And because there was no respect, this is what angered me. But this is me and my culture. I quickly realized maybe me, I understand that what I did is right in my culture, but maybe in their culture it is not right, and they might not understand. So I went back in the house. I asked the mother, can I talk to your daughter? She said yes. I called the young girl, she came down and she sat. I said to her, I want to apologize because I yelled at you. She said, oh, it's okay. I said, no, it's not okay. Maybe you and your mother, you have this culture, you can yell at each other. I don't have any right to yell at you. But let me explain to you why I did it. And she was very kind. She said, yeah, why did you do this to me? I said, well, because in my culture, your mother is God. Whatever she does, you say amen. You don't beat your parents, you don't yell at them, you don't scream at them. So when you were doing this in front of me to your mother, I just couldn't stand there and watch you. Which is why I scream at you and I say, get up and go to your room. However, I'm very sorry. She accepted my apologies. But I realized what happened that day was not human rights. It was not Musa as the human rights guy or Musa as the mediator, no. It was Musa as the culture, the guy coming from a culture of respect to your parents. So this is what I mean by culture. I also want us to have some critical discussion, just to talk together and think about everything we want to talk about. So this is tonight what I'm going to do. At the end of the day, I want also for you to think about privilege. What do we have that is our privilege? It is my privilege to be standing up here. There is many people I know who will never have this privilege to come to you and talk to you tonight. What is power? Power is something that sometimes we don't know that we have. But we all have power. And sometimes the way we use our power can change everything for the best or for the worst. Oppression is when you don't have a voice, when you don't have any right, when everyone can just stumble on you. We will talk about relationship and diversity of the differences in people. We will also talk about what are the similarities between our cultures and other people's culture. And finally, I will tell you a bit about human rights, where it comes from. Do you have human rights? Who have human rights? And who doesn't have human rights? So this is what I'm going to do tonight. For this, I want to know, what do you think it will take for you so that you can feel like you are part of this group, that you can participate? What should we do together, all of us? What should we agree together so that all of you will feel like you are okay, you can participate to this event? Anyone? What do we need here? So that,
Respectful.
Respect. Yes? What else? Anyone? What else we need? Respect?
Understanding.
Understanding? Yes?
Forgive.
Forgiveness? Yes? What else we need?
Common language.
A common language?
Faith.
Yes?
Faith.
Faith? Yes?
Yes.
What else do we need?
Sympathy.
Huh?
Sympathy.
Sympathy and compassion. Thank you. So, We also need to listen to each other in order for us to understand. Listening to someone and understanding someone, it doesn't mean you agree. You can understand me and you don't have to agree with me. We have to suspend our certainties and recognize that we are all learning. We also have to respect other point of views. We have to speak authentically from our heart and what we know. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. We also have to share what feels right for you. When we're talking, let's share what will feel right for us. And last or not least, I will suggest that we think about confidentiality. What we're talking about here today, it is ideas. It is learning. So not judge people by what they say today, because maybe after the workshop they will learn something better and they will never repeat the same thing. Do you agree on some of these guidelines? Good. So, now it is time for you guys to get up and do some work. Okay, so put this table against the wall and the chairs. Put this table and the chairs against the wall here, please. This table against the wall. This table against the wall. And the chairs. Okay, so everyone in the middle here. Everyone here in the middle. I warn you, in my class is no one sit. So come closer. Come, everyone, come in. Okay, it's good. Come. Here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be reading some statement. Are they true, wrong? I don't know. It is up to you. I'm going to read a statement. For example, I'm going to say, it is very beautiful tonight. And some of you will say, yeah, it is beautiful. Then you agree with me, and you look on the corner. So you go here, you stand here, agree. Someone will say, no, I don't think it is beautiful tonight. I disagree. They go down there. Someone will say, I really agree it is a beautiful night. Strongly agree. They will be here. And someone will say, I strongly disagree that it is a horrible night. It's not beautiful at all. They go down there. Okay? And some people will say, I don't have any clue. I don't understand this. So I'm not sure. They stay in the middle. Okay? So, from your heart. And remember, there is no wrong answer, no right answers. So, when I say this statement, just decide from your heart and follow your understanding. You might not understand it, but just think what it is for you. And every time I read a statement, it will be on the board. Let's start. It is important that our differences are visible. It is important that the things that make us different are visible. Agree. You go here, disagree. You go down there. Yeah. If you don't understand, you stay here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
مختلفة مش
Okay. Good. It is good. Okay. Sometimes I'm going to ask one or two people in each group, ask them why they agree or why they disagree. Okay? And you will tell us why you think you agree or why you disagree. Good. So let me pick up on someone. Agree. Why did you agree? You? Yeah. You agree that it is important that our differences are visible.
Yes.
Because?
You want to make a decision.
Yeah. So you agree?
Yes.
And the reason is you want to make a decision. Good. Yeah? Or your own life. Yeah. And you?
I agree because the point should be clear.
Mm-hmm. So the differences should be clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Okay. We go to strongly agree. You agree because?
Yeah, it's okay, but
You haven't thought about it yet. Okay. It's good. You want to take a break? Yeah. Think about it and then I come back. Who want to go? Okay.
Actually, it's important due to the differences, culture differences. Sometimes I will not understand your point because of your religion, your culture, your so on. So it's not against me, and it will not impact me. I don't care.
Thank you. So let me go here. Strongly no disagree. Who wanna go? Who wanna say something? Who wanna explain? Okay. Come here. So why did you disagree about this statement down there? What we say is important. It is very important that we are different.
Good. Okay.
Because
we're special.
this is great. And what else? And what else? Because we are special.
And
So you think we are special?
and we're great about ourselves. And we look good.
That's good.
And it doesn't matter how we look like.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, he said something that is very interesting here. Because we are special, we look good, and it doesn't matter how we look like. Anyone else want to say something else? Good. So, I'm going to do another one, and you can again move around. The next one is Victoria. Victoria is a very diverse community. Agree, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. Victoria is a diverse community. Yeah, Victoria is a diverse community. Do you want to
فكتوريا تعتبر فيها متعدد المجتمعات.
Okay. Okay. Where is the people who agree? Agree? Strongly agree. Good. Agree? What's the people who disagree? Okay, there is people in the middle who are not sure.
We don't know about Fكتوريا, the people in Fكتوريا. We don't know about them. It's not agreement.
Yeah. Okay. So these guys don't know. So you guys, you're going to convince them that they should agree with you, or you have to convince them to come to you or to go to you. Okay? Who want to try in this group?
I do.
You have to convince him why you think Why you think that Victoria is a diverse community?
Why you agree?
Yeah, why you agree?
We're seeing many people here from different races
Okay, so because
and different cultures, different religions. Yeah,
so
and,
different culture, different religion,
and still respect each other.
and we still respect each other.
Yeah, I prayed many times in the street, in the roads, in the side roads. Nobody told me anything about it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So they agree because there is a different cultures, different people from different religion and so on, and you can walk on the street and be respected. Strongly disagree or disagree. Anyone? You all agree? Wonderful. This is a great word. Okay, here's the next one. Racism is about white people and white privilege. So if you translate it, you will say, oh, only white people are racist.
يا ترانسليتر تكفى.
نقول لك العنصرية هنا بس البيض خصوصا بس.
هم العنصريين البيض بس.
ايوه.
توافق ولا ما توافق؟
That being racist is only being white that you are racist. Agree. Strongly agree. Disagree. Strongly disagree. So all these people disagree? Good. Tell me why.
I'm strongly.
Strongly. Who wanna tell me? Who wanna tell me why? Why they disagree?
Because different culture and different
Different culture, different religion, and different. Yeah. So you disagree that racism is not only white people who are racist. There is other people also. Okay. Anything you wanna add to this?
Yeah, in different countries where different races are exist, racism is still exists there, not because they are white or color, but because of different aspects of life, either wealth or class.
So racism is not only about color, it can be wealth, it can be class, it can be something else. Strongly disagree.
Yeah, I strongly disagree. Actually, I do believe that each person has some racism. Even if you show that on his side, I mean, might think just about himself. Sometimes, as we mentioned, that it's not about colors, it can be about race or religions or whatever.
So
some people believe that.
yeah.
Believe about racism or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you, some people believe about racism. But what do you think racism is?
Yeah, that's why, because actually when people don't like your hand or something like that. So that's a reason.
Okay. So you want to add something?
I mean, racism about the race.
Yeah.
You see, you're there because of your race, not because of your religion or your culture. It's related directly to race. So I think there are like we saw a lot of racism in white people in Europe, in America, but then also black people in Europe and also Jewish Jewish in Europe and black people in America. When they went back to other places, they also practiced this kind of racism.
Good point. Good point. Huh?
It's just obvious.
Yeah.
Having with white people, but it still exists with people living with them.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, you saying that racism exists in everyone. It is not only about white people. Great. Tell me, do you think that racism is about power? Is it because when you have power you are racist?
Not just that. Something.
Huh?
Something else.
Yeah?
All Muslims can believe that. Maybe it's about religion, or maybe about it's black and white. It's like that.
Yeah?
From the power or different?
Different what?
Yeah, different reason, yeah.
So racism can be about power, it can be about religion,
Religion, color.
color, whatever.
I thought
It's like when he's like army or something.
Yeah. So it is power, it can be military power, and so on. Good. Here's the things I'm going to ask you. Gender. Do you guys know what is gender?
Yes.
Okay, gender difference will always exist. Yeah. So, strongly agree. Agree. Strongly disagree. Disagree. Yeah. Gender difference will always exist. Okay, so come together, you guys. I give you 2 minutes. Yeah, so you have to discuss among yourself why do you agree. So talk to yourself. And then one person will report to all of us. So you have 2 minutes. You guys break from here. So you're going to discuss together why you disagree. No? Okay, so we're going to talk together and decide why you agree. And you the same. So you have 2 minutes and then you report. We decide who is going to talk to us.
And those emotional. We different things. Like that, also like that's why in those genders, it's not always the same. Yeah, it's not always the same. Say what you said. That's what
Yeah, so you're going to tell us why you think it is
different things, different values.
They want to be like right. Tell us what I want to be right. So one of us
Yeah.
want to be right. That's the
So you guys are going to, when you come back, we will call everyone. One of you is going to tell us. They agree, strongly agree. So all of you are going to be the same, but different understanding. Yeah, it will be. Okay, so let's come back. We want to hear from each group now. You want to hear from each group. So why we start with this group? Strongly agree. So can you tell us why you think that gender differences will always exist? One person? Yeah.
Yeah, physically.
Physically?
And emotionally we are different. And also it's like way of thinking. They are different. We are different.
So physically, emotionally, and the way of thinking is different. It is why you agree that gender differences will always exist. Thank you. And sometimes culture. Sometimes culture. Yeah. What culture you mean?
Enforce that.
So culture enforces the differences. Good.
Capacity. Capacity for women different.
So capacity for women and men.
And men different between them.
Yeah.
So some working the woman can do and the man we cannot do.
Yeah.
Or against.
Well, it is a good point.
Well, in Quran it says وليس الذكر كالأنثى. It means that males are not like females, and since it's God's creation, we are all God's creation, so we follow that, and we believe in that.
So you believe that it is clear in the religion that there is a difference between men and women?
yes.
Anyone else?
As well as there is an obvious differences, as Dennis mentioned. On the other hand, that we all need other, and no one can stand by itself.
Yes.
That's it.
So gender differences exist, but you say we all need each other. We need who?
Yeah, because of that,
Yeah.
it's still existing.
So we need each other. Good.
We need each other as we different.
We need each other because we are different and as we are different. Good.
Just I want to make a note about male or not like female in the Quran. When we say that, we don't say male are better than females. No, but they are different. It's like, you know, you have two cars, BMW and Mercedes. They're different. They're both good, but they have different. And one more thing, I think I forgot.
Okay, what I'm hearing here is the difference you're talking about. It is not being better than one or another. It is that it is just they are different, but it doesn't mean that one person is better than the other person. Great. And you added that this difference can be also capacity, because there is things that men can do and women can't do, but there is also a lot of things women can do and men can't do. Yeah?
Well, the same as what the guy said, like women get their own like strengths and men get their own strengths, but both of them are dependent on each other.
Yes. So, different but dependent on each other. Great. You guys have very good answers tonight about this question, which sometimes when I ask it, people have trouble to agree on anything. So, here's my last question. Religion always helps to create peace between human beings. Religion always helps people to create peace. Agree. Strongly agree. Disagree. Strongly disagree. Religion, it is assumed that religion by itself always helps people to be agreed. So yeah, always.
I mean religion all religion.
Yeah, any religion. Any religion.
عندي الأديان كل الأديان مو بس الإسلام.
Yeah.
Well, is it just one religion? Or?
Any religion. Any religion.
No, I mean like a religion among its people or among even other people?
Among other people. Yeah. Among its people and other people. Well, don't worry, I asked this question in Ethiopia. In 2007, I was teaching at the United Nations Peace University. So these are students who are specialized in peace and conflict resolution. There was Muslims, there were Christians, there were Jews. I asked this question. I won't tell you what happened in the class.
Complicated. It's a complicated question.
Yes. I won't tell you what happened in class. People were really into it. Okay, so let's hear from this group who disagree. Anyone who haven't spoken here who want to say something? Yeah. Okay, let's listen.
Yeah, because in some religions they have like some wrong view, and they like encourage them believer to like kill other people when it doesn't believe our religion or different.
So in some religion, they don't lead to peace because they have a way to tell people that you should kill anyone who doesn't believe in you. This is what you mean? Yeah. Any other comment? Anyone want to make?
Well, when you talk about religion, we are not talking first about Islam or even Islam, yeah, and any religion. And those religions sometimes, even some branches of Islam, which is not, I don't believe they are still part of Islam, they alter the main religion. So, and they make it like, you know, some people are better than other people, and you know, they will be unjust, and that injustice will lead to war and stuff like that. So it depends on which religion, and it depends if that religion is pure or not.
So what I'm hearing here is that religion will alter their teaching and saying anyone who is not part of this religion doesn't deserve the same peace, so it can lead to conflict.
Hating about religion. So some Jewish is hating the Muslims, and hating Christian, like that. Yeah.
So the respect between religion.
Fighting a war or something like that. Because I think because the religion, it's different religion. That's the big reason.
I think the people hate between the people because the religion. Because this is the war or something big causes because the religion. So the religion don't help us to become the human beings between the people.
So religion doesn't often help for peace. This group, anyone?
Yeah, religion, it's not religion that creates wars. Actually, it's politics create wars, politics and interests. So religion, if you go and read about Christianity, Judaism, Islam, of course, all those, even Buddhism, any other religion, they, in their essence, they all talk about peace. But the wars are created because of interest, and you can see that Muslim countries, they sometimes fight each other. Christian countries, it has nothing to do with religion. Yeah.
So your understanding is that political interest is oftentimes at the roots of conflict and not religion, and that in the essence of most of those religions, they talk about peace. Thank you.
I think anyone may believe or any religion, they want to make us join to him in the same religion. That's the reason I think the religion make a peace.
Great. Thank you. Okay, last comment here.
I don't have any more comments after comments because he's get it all. I mean, I can just add something that we all people are responsible for what we made mistakes, not the religion, and we may use religions as a tool to put our mistakes on it. It's not just about the sky religions, it's also about a religion that's created by people, as Buddhism or Hinduism or so and so. So they all looking for peace and right behavior.
Great, thank you. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, sometimes religion, I think it could help, but it's not a condition that all religions help. Sometimes people, they don't have religion and they fight for their human beings.
Great. So sometimes there is also people who don't have any religion and they still can fight for peace, or they can also fight for war. Thank you guys. I want to say bring the table again and let's sit, and thank you for your standing, and we're going to continue.
Did you say the story of this question? Huh? You said you had the story?
Yeah, no.
When you asked this question to a class?
Yes. So I will tell you the story.
Okay.
Okay? So, come closer guys. Come closer. Come on. Come closer. Yeah, bring your table there. Thank you very much for your honest and candid answers to these questions. As I said, these are not very easy questions. They are very difficult. And believe me, I trained thousands of people for the last 20 years around the world. And I have asked these kind of questions. It's not easy. I have asked this kind of question, in North Vancouver, with a room full of police officers, 47 of them. not easy. 2 weeks ago I was teaching the Victoria, Spanish police, Victoria police, Obey, West Shore, and the RCMP. 29 officers, all of them are the top rank in a room like this. And I was asking this, they couldn't agree. So they are very tough. In 2007, when I was in Ethiopia at the University of the United Nations Peace University, I played this game and I asked some of these students. Most of those guys now are working for the United Nations, for the African Union, for the Arab Union, for the European Union. This is the question I asked. They were angry at each other. They couldn't agree. They couldn't agree on this question, that racism is about white privilege. They couldn't agree that racism is about power. They couldn't agree that people of color can also be racist. They couldn't agree that religion is not always about peace, or that religion is always about peace, but it is the people who have a political agenda. Yes?
Even if they didn't agree between each other, they fight each other, they don't understand about opinions.
Yes. Yeah. So, and all those people are calling themselves specialists in human rights. And they couldn't agree. So it is okay. Because if all we agree, it will be a problem. So it is because we don't agree, we challenge each other. But now, I'm going to keep going with my presentation. Some of the key words I want you to know is what we call visible. So the things we see. But there is also things that we don't see. One thing you don't see when you look at me, you say he is black. You see that. Yeah. But you don't see that I have a family, that I have 4 children. You don't see that I have 22 brothers and sisters. Okay?
You don't see racism.
Yeah, you don't see all those things. So there is things that are visible and there is things that are not visible. Another thing you don't see is that, and this was when I was young with my childhood friends, when we play soccer, they will come, I was goalkeeper, one of them will knock down my glasses, and I will be like this, and the other one will mark. But what they don't see, it was not them winning the game, they didn't see the humiliation they were making me. Because one day I decided to not play soccer anymore. Because I was humiliated. Every day my glasses broke and I have to go to my dad and say, buy me a new pair. I was humiliated to always ask for my father to buy a new pair. So I stopped going to soccer. My friend didn't realize that by breaking my glasses, they were forcing me to stop liking soccer. Think about privilege. We have privilege. In my village, we were 60 young people in the class, primary school. 60. When we went to grade 12 and did the exam to go to university, I look around me. Everyone has failed the exam. I was the only boy, only kid who walked out of the village to go to the city. It is a privilege. When I come on holiday in my village, everyone wants me to read their letter because people can't read. I read it for them. Think about difference. We are different. He doesn't wear glasses. I wear glasses. His hair is long, my hair is short. And so on and so on. Think about color. White is color, black is color, yellow, green, all these are colors. We all are colors. And think about racism. And finally, what do you mean by racism? What do you mean by peace? What do you mean by dialogue? I want you to think sometimes about the words we use. We like sometimes to say, oh, me, I'm a peaceful person. What does that mean? Or me, I'm not racist. What does that mean? Or you say, me, I don't like these people. Why don't you like them? But now, I want you to think about racism. Here's the definition of racism. Racism is a belief that our own race is superior and has the right to rule the other race. It can also be a policy, a decision from the government to say this group is better than other groups. I went to school in South Africa. It was crazy. It was racism everywhere. I will come in class. Some of those kids will look at me and say, nigger, you don't sit near me. And they will sit on the other side. Yeah. I accepted everything. I remember one time in Johannesburg at the airport, I put my passport. The officer looked at me in my eyes and said, I'm going to deport you. I said, why? He said, because you are black. I said, is it because I'm black you're going to deport me? He said, yes. I said, good. I will remember you are white. And one day, when things change, I will find you. It takes 15 years. The day I show up at his door, he couldn't believe it. He almost had a heart attack. He was shaking and saying, don't kill me. I said, did I promise you that I will find you? He said, yes. I said, I never fail my promise. Then you will not be the last one I'm going to fail. So those are the kind of things you leave and no choice. That day he made me feel very good. When he said you're black, I loved it. I am black. I love to be black. But the way he said it was not to say bravo, you are black, or congratulations. No, it was you are black, you are out. So now, I want you guys at your table to discuss this sentence. Racism is a belief that your own race is superior. What this tell you in your way, the way you live your life, your race, etc. What does this mean for you? So discuss with your people on your table. 3 minutes each group.
What does this sentence mean for you? Your race is superior to other people.
Racism is all about attitude.
Yes.
Yeah, it's individual characteristics that you feel something towards others in a different way. That's racism.
What about this group? What do you think about this?
I think racism is one of the worst things people can do because you believe that you are better than someone else, and that thing which you believe is better, you didn't choose it yourself. So you don't choose to be white or black or brown. So it's not your choice. So why do you think that you are better? Yeah.
Passive. So.
Racism it's applauded or something by like banned It's like group, it's the pride of self. And they say pride or something. Is it like our... yeah, some band or groups is proud of yourself and is like don't have faith and you think it always have power, then it's like man it's black or white.
Yes? Good. Pass it to this group.
And they think proud.
Huh?
Proud of himself.
Proud. Yeah. So I'm hearing another word. It is pride. Yes. Any comment in this group? Any comment?
Well, our group totally agree with that statement, that the proudness of someone, like a guy would feel proud of his race or his beliefs, so that creates
Great. Thank you. So I want to say that racism is like many of the things that we do to people in order to exclude them, in order to think that we are better than them, that we are better, even when we know we're not. Racism can be about power, but it is not always about power with millions. It can be the power of the powerless, the power of the most poor person. Racism can be also fear. When people are scared of you, that they don't know who you are the unknown. They are fearful about you. It happened to me one time in Vancouver. One evening I was coming from the coffee shop, walking to my house, and I met this international student from another country. She just saw me and she ran across the street. She almost got hit by a car. And the cab driver stopped and he was yelling at her and honking. And then he said to me, why is this girl running? I said, well, I don't know. But if I was her, I will run. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, meeting a black guy on the street, she's right to run. He said, my brother, something is wrong. But do you want to tell me what is going on? I said, well, look at me. I'm very scared. So she saw a black guy, she ran. So my friend, don't worry, go home. 2 days after the same coffee shop, I came and I saw the girl sitting there. I won't tell you which country she's from. So I took my business card. I think I have it here. I supposed to put my name tag when I'm speaking because I'm speaking on the name of the university. So I took my business card and I came in front of her and I put it. She looked at the picture and then she looked at me. She said, yes, sir. I said, well, I'm the sir you were running away from 2 nights ago. She said, me? No. I said, oh, okay. Put my cell phone and I show her, I say, does this look like you? She said, oh my God, you took a picture of me. I say, yes. She said, well, I was not running from you. I said, please, don't embarrass yourself with a lie. You did run away. It was late. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. You saw a black guy crossing the street and you were crossing the street and you turned and you ran away. Don't worry, it is okay. But don't lie. She said, oh, no, I'm not lying. I said, don't lie because if you force me, I swear I will get you immigration to deport you tomorrow. Believe me, I work for CBSC. I say, what does that mean? I say, it is Canadian Border Services. So don't lie. And she said, no, I can explain. I said, yeah, please, tell me. And I start. So she explained to me. It was okay. She understood because in her country, they told her that black people are very violent, that they are drug dealers and they are criminals. It is what they told her in her country. Every movie she saw about US, is violence.
That's wrong.
Yeah, so it is why she was scared. So I didn't blame her because I know this was the story. And I was happy she told me. So I apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry that I made you scared. I'm sorry that I have to force you to tell me this story. But realize I'm not American. I'm black and I'm Canadian. So I was very happy because I know from then she got education. She will never just look at a black person and say he's a criminal. I want you, as people like me, who are not from here, remember that your responsibility when you face racism, it is not to run away. It is not to hide and cry. It is not to get angry. No. Your responsibility is to educate yourself and to be very patient and educate the other people. It can be very painful, very difficult, but you have to take it on you. For me, I was lucky. I have lived in South Africa. This is the capital of racism. So, racism doesn't scare me. I look at it in the eyes because I have seen wars. But I learned something, it is that it is my responsibility to educate myself and to educate other people. Educating yourself can just be to learn how to breathe and to forgive, to understand, and then to be patient, to explain to people, and to listen without judgment. If you can't do this, you can really fight racism. After September 11, I was on the plane, Kennedy Airport in New York. I put down my passport. The guy looked at me. He said, "Are you Muslim?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Well, many people come here, if I ask them they are Muslim, they say, no, they're not." I said, "Oh." He said, "So you are not scared to say you are Muslim?" I said, "No, why? Why would you be scared?" He said, "Well, because we're going to put you inside and treat you and look everything." I said, "Yeah, do it." He looked at me, he said, "You don't look like a criminal." I was sitting there and I said, "Well, see, I'm not going to lie to you that I'm Muslim or not. I am Muslim. Full stop. What happened, I'm very sorry for everyone, but I didn't do it." There was a woman lining up and she was getting impatient and said, "Can we go? Can we finish with this?" And the guy said, "Man, you stay where you are. I'm having a conversation with this man." And he said to me, "Thank you." I said, "For what?" He said, "Yeah, just thank you because you're telling me here that you are proud."